We're gonna answer an incredibly important question that every Skyrim player has to face at some point. Are you joining the rebellious Stormcloaks or the Imperial Legion? But who cares about me? I'm gonna roleplay as Jon Snow, one of the most complex characters in Game of Thrones, to see which faction he would join. So we're gonna go to the Stormcloak quest line. Oh shit, Jon sees some fucking magic shit, and he starts getting iced and fired. Stop, this is not ironic! And when Jon rolls up to Windhelm, the home of the Stormcloaks, to see what they're all about, the first thing he sees is this.
Do you hate the Dark Elves? Are you here to bully us and tell us to leave?
So Jon kind of listens a little bit to this conversation, and this is relevant to what's going to happen because he's going to learn about the Stormcloaks. So as soon as he gets to Windhelm, he hears these people arguing and pretty much saying some racist shit to this Dark Elf, and she says, do you hate him? I don't think Jon would ever really say he's racist or hates anyone. I don't really see him as that way. I highly doubt it. So I think he'd be like, no, I don't hate your people.
You've come to the wrong city then. Windhelm's a haven of prejudice and narrow thinking.
I didn't really think much of this at the time, but this moment is actually really important, as you're gonna see later. His very first impression of where the Stormcloaks live is not that good. I think he would definitely take note that the city looks really, really cool and really nice, really built up and everything. But they got some problems on the inside. So Jon goes on until he meets Ulfric's Stormcloak, who's discussing his opinions on the realm.
Intercepted couriers from Solitude. The Empire's putting a great deal of pressure on Whiterun.
And what would you have me do? I fight for we few who did come home, only to find our country full of strangers wearing familiar faces.
I think Jon was like kind of feeling weird in the beginning because he was talking about killing lots of people just for nothing. I don't think Jon really likes that. But then he started talking about why he would kill people who were rebelling against him. He wants to give people freedom. And Jon's all about that freedom, man. He is curious as to why he let him in his war room here without any supervision. That seems really fucking unsafe, but hey, you know, whatever, we'll just ignore that. I mean, I think he kind of is like, okay, they're racist, they're brutal, but they have a good, strong cause. Who does that sound like? Sounds like both the Night's Watch and the Wildlings to me. There's always good or bad causes on both sides, I guess.
Yeah, but first, tell me, why does a foreigner want to fight for Skyrim?
I guess the story of why Jon is here is he wants to build allies. He'd probably say something along those lines. I'm here to like make allies for the Starks.
Can't fault anyone for that. I have a little test for you.
I feel like Jon has had to go through lots of different trainings and things to go, so he's like, lay it on me.
You kill an ice wraith out there, and I'll have all the proof I need about you.
So Jon goes off to kill the ice wraith. He's like, okay, I gotta do this thing. He isn't completely thrown off yet. I think this place gives Jon a good feeling of home. Like, this feels similar to Winterfell. You know, this place gives Jon some good vibes, I would say. Okay, he sees this thing coming at him. Ooh, it hurts. He's going in big balls on him. Staggering him a good bit. Ooh, it's biting him. This thing has ice in its veins. He can tell, but he's gonna try to still take it out. Ooh, bites him good there. But Jon's not gonna back down. Oh, he misses his strike. Oh. And he takes it down with ease.
I have to admit, I didn't think we'd be seeing you again. You ready to take the oath?
So Jon hears the word oath, and he's like, another oath? That word, okay, dude, can you get out of my way? I was having a conversation. The Night's Watch has a very binding oath. So he's like, another oath? But he's also like, I've done oaths before, like, let's do it. Jon already basically did this for the Night's Watch. Jon swore to die for the better of the kingdom. So if he thinks that this guy, Ulfric, is a good guy, then he'd do it. Yeah, Jon's like, alright, I'm ready. Let's inquire a little bit. What are your reasons for joining?
Reasons? Since when does a man need a reason to protect his family, to defend his homeland?
That's pretty good. He's saying that he's just defending what he has. What's the aim of this war?
And their bloody Imperial puppets out of the country.
I think Jon would more prefer to just like keep to themselves. Kick all the fucking people out who are trying to take over, but maybe kind of end it there. But Jon's kind of a peaceful-ish person. Like, he just wants people to not really fight.
The Imperials have already dug into Whiterun.
Why are you fighting this war, Ulfric?
We're fighting because we're done bleeding for an empire that won't bleed for us.
Jon, I think, feels that. He's like, the government, the monarchy, whatever, they should always fight for the civilians. I think Jon does vibe with that for sure. He always wants to stick up for the lower people. Think about the wildlings, of course. People below the wall hated wildlings, but he was like, no, I've been with them. They're actually pretty chill. So I think Jon so far would be like, okay, like this isn't bad. I don't think Jon is like hardcore Stormcloak right now, where he's like, this is the fucking move, this is it. I think he's a bit more on the fence. I mean, similarly, when he got to the Night's Watch, he thought the Night's Watch was super magical. Just all the most honorable people would go to the Night's Watch and defend the realm. But then when he got there, it was just full of rapers and thieves and like people who just wanted to go to exile instead of being killed. I think Jon will go ahead and take this oath. I do swear my blood and honor to the service of Ulfric Stormcloak, Jarl of Windhelm and true High King of Skyrim. As Talos as my witness, may this oath I have a terrible Jon Snow accent. Let's just keep going. So now Jon's a Stormcloak. Let's see how much further he'd go.
I have found the final resting place of the Jagged Crown.
In all reality, I think Jon would take his oath really seriously. Like, he would consider it for a long time. But I think at this point, he's definitely not against it.
Imperials? Well, if they're keeping themselves comfortable, let's slip in and send them to their graves that way.
I think Jon would not like how happy they are to kill these people. Because I think Jon tends to understand both sides. He knows the Imperials aren't just evil people. Especially in Season 6, Jon killed a lot of fucking people, man. So he doesn't feel too bad about it. If he thinks these guys are in his way, then he's got to kill them. He understands that that's just got to happen sometimes. So he sees these guys. Oh shit, actually think I hit. Oh shit, they're popping me. Oh shit, Jon's actually getting blasted. He ends that guy's life. Oh, they're all asking for mercy. Sneaks up behind him, stabs him right in the back. Jon's gonna help out his whole team. This is going pretty smoothly though for him.
Let me know if you find something.
Wait, we gotta find a fucking. How do we find that? Does this guy have anything? Yo, where is the claw thing? I feel like I'm missing something for sure. I think I'm too far back now. None of the chests had what I needed. Oh wait! Oh my god! Why didn't y'all tell me there's literally the claw right here? I found the claw immediately, guys! Sweet! So Jon, using his great wits, figures out that he needs to turn this thing. So far I think Jon's feeling pretty... He's feeling okay about this. I think he wants to fight with the people that he supports, just like he did with the Night's Watch. Hey, you probably shouldn't stand over that, just FYI. That looks like a trap, buddy. Okay, this isn't suspicious at all, guys. So Jon sees whites coming out, and he immediately goes into action. He hates these things. The blue eyes of the White Walkers. That guy's definitely dead. Don't worry about this guy. He's 100% dead, guys. If I just strike him... Oh, shit. So Jon sees basically a White Walker get up, and he is worried. Take him out! This thing is of death. He reaches in his pocket, looks at the jagged crown. This looks like the crown of a king. So Jon hears the chanting in his head once again. He's become more familiar with it. He puts his sword down and walks up and accepts what happens so he can feel the strength flow through his brain. Brain? Let's roll with that. So Jon's still feeling the Stormcloaks at this point. I think so far he's not super torn against them. Let's deliver this crown and then maybe we go talk to some Imperials to get their side of things and then we'll see. Tell me this doesn't look like Joffrey, by the way. Every Jarl sits just like Joffrey. So Jon Snow walks up to Ulfric with this crown. He's like, here's your crown, yo Galmardring. Like, if people died, I think Jon would say, we lost some brothers. We lost some brothers today, but it was worth it, or something like that. Jon is a little bit bitter that he lost men getting this crown. It's just a crown. He really likes the smaller people. He doesn't like fucking with them and like hurting them, especially for kings and stuff like that. Okay, so let's check out some Imperials. Let's see what they think. Let's see what they say. Okay, so Jon walks up. He hears this guy talking to him about joining the Imperial, and he's kind of gruff. He's like, if you don't want to join us, then like keep your nose down. And we also have this guy who sounds like a prisoner in here. So Jon's looking. Jon immediately recognizes this is an execution.
Rogver, you helped Ulfric Stormcloak escape the city after he murdered High King Torrig. by opening that gate for Ulfric.
Why the fuck would this guy walk in front of my face? Jon's seen a lot of executions and has performed some himself. But of the water. He heard that he helped Ulfric's Stormcloak, so Jon's like, yikes. I don't think so if Jon is on the Stormcloaks side completely, obviously he would be upset. But I think Jon just sees this as more of a part of of war. Both sides take casualties. Both sides, just like in the Night's Watch, people in the Night's Watch kill plenty of wildlings. People in the wildlings, the free folk, they kill plenty of the Night's Watchmen, the crows. So I think he more sees it as just like, fuck, this is unfortunate. The ambiance of this place seems pretty good, but I think Jon felt a bit more at home at Windhelm. So I guess Jon could ask him about the execution.
Not my finest hour. Rogvir was a fine and honorable man.
I think Jon appreciates that. I think Jon appreciates someone not taking pride in an execution. Jon never took pride in his executions. I think he was always reluctant, but like, bro, you're really gonna force my hand. Like, remember Janos Slint? Like, Janos was like, I ain't going to King's Landing, or wherever he told him, Eastwatch, I can't remember. And Jon was like, are you defying my orders? Like, you might want to take that back, buddy. And then he was like, yup. And then Jon was like, please, like, why are you making me do this? And he's like, well, now I gotta kill you.
Sometimes you just do what needs to be done. You don't have to hate a man to kill him.
All right, I think Jon would be like fucking with this guy. He'd be like, that's a good point. What's the Imperial Legion doing in Skyrim? Jon asked him that.
The Legion's always been here. Without us to keep order, the provinces would fall into barbarism and lawlessness.
I don't think that sways Jon that much. A lot of bad things are done in the name of keeping order. Joffrey literally killed his dad. Why do you fight for the Empire?
I am a loyal citizen of the Empire. My parents were legionnaires, and I followed in their footsteps. But more importantly, I am a daughter of Skyrim, and wish to see her made whole again.
Ooh, this is a really good point. Don't the Stormcloaks call themselves the sons and daughters of Skyrim? Also, this is also a good point. If Jon is familiar with the new thing that was put into place, the treaty that bans the worship of Talos, the North believes in the old gods. Everyone else believes in the faith of the Seven. So I feel like Jon is kind of more on the side of freedom-ish of religion, because they let him do that. So I think Jon would ask this first. Don't Stormcloaks call themselves sons and daughters of Skyrim?
I've been a daughter of Skyrim all my life. But Ulfric and his Stormcloaks are deluding themselves. If there's any hope of a long-term victory against the Dominion, it's in the Empire. The rebels are only inflaming the tension and weakening the Empire by distracting it from its ultimate aim.
That's interesting because Jon doesn't like how there's all these squabbles going on between like the Seven Kingdoms when the White Walkers are bearing down on them. So he understands like there's this bigger threat and y'all are like fighting over shit that doesn't matter. He understands that, but still I don't think there's a really good push as to like why you guys are the right choice and why don't you treat people better and let them have more freedoms. Let's ask her this. So you have no problem with the treaty that bans the worship of Talos?
I'm a soldier, not a politician.
I think that Jon understands that. You don't have complete information sometimes, so going off of this information that Jon has right now, I think Jon still sides with the Stormcloaks. The Imperials still seem like they're more about having power, at least from Jon's perspective so far. I know there's more to the story than that. But I think so far, I feel like Jon, he's not really torn. This is the interesting part. I kind of thought going into this, Jon would be like, yes, I'm a Stormcloak, or yes, I'm an Imperial. I think it's a little bit more realistic than that. I think Jon's like, the Stormcloaks fight for things that I believe in, but they are also, as most people think, they're not perfect. They're kind of racist. They're kind of assholes. Oh, let's go talk to some of the Dark Elves. Ooh, Dark Elf.
If you need anything, come see me. I'm as resourceful as I am discreet.
Let's see. Racism?
I'm a Dark Elf and I live in Windhelm, so yes, I live in the Grey Quarter. You must be new around here, or you'd know they don't let my kind live anywhere outside that slum.
Yikes. What's the Grey Quarter?
Windhelm is divided into 4
quarters.
The Grey Quarter is the one that's home to all the city's Dark Elves.
Oh, it's actual segregation. Jon does not like this. Jon definitely would be like, this is pretty fucked, actually. This actually could be a reason to push him towards the Imperials. So I think he's kind of like, damn, Ulfric, were kind of racist as fuck. Now I think we have enough info to decide who Jon would join. And just like any big decisions made, we're gonna roll a d20. Let's say if he rolls a 10 or higher, then he goes with the Imperials. If he rolls a 1 through a 9, he goes Stormcloaks. So that's a slightly better chance that he goes with the Imperials. Drum roll, please. That's it, folks. That's it. He is an Imperial. Jon Snow becomes an Imperial. So now we know definitively what faction Jon would join. But hey, here's another question. What if instead of a Targaryen, Jon finds out that he's the Dragonborn? Well, there's a video on that right here.